Good morning, friends, and welcome to yet another awesome session of Mindful Living. We truly appreciate your taking out the time and joining the session this weekend. And it is my promise to you that you will take away something which is very, very powerful. Like all sessions of Mindful Living, this one is designed to improve your quality of life. And we are going to do that by improving the quality of our thoughts. And if it is okay with all of you, let me begin by asking you a question. So if I have your permission to ask you a question, please type P in the chat box.
Yeah.
And I'll request you to, okay, thank you, Hassan. I'll request everybody to, so only Hassan has, okay, Manish LB. Others, quickly please type P so that we can proceed with our session. I can ask you the question. Sri Vidya. All right, Ujjal, Brigadier Ujjal, thank you. So the question, friends, is what comes to your mind when you look at this picture of P? And type in the chat the word that comes to your mind when you look at the P, letter P. And you can type one word or you can type two words. And to make it easy for you, this P is not for permission. So you can share anything else. Peace, okay. Thank you, Manish Alvi. Red and green, okay. What does this letter P mean to you? Please type two words that come to your mind when you look at this letter P. Presence, thank you. Peace, presence, thank you, thank you. Anybody else? It's not such a difficult question. No right or wrong answers. Feel free to participate, be actively engaged. It is when you are actively engaged, you will be able to get the maximum out of this session. Peace. Okay, so let me share with you, friends, what this P means, and I'll share a very nice quotation I came across from Tony Robbins, and he says that what human beings can do is truly amazing. You know what they are capable of doing is truly amazing, but what they usually do is disappointing. So what he's trying to say is the potential that we have to do is far more, is infinite. As a human beings, we all have infinite potential, but what we actually perform is disappointing. So there is a huge gap between what our potential is and what at the level at which we perform. And any idea on what causes this gap between our potential, which is infinite, and our performance, which Tony Robbins says is usually disappointing? So, what could be the reason for some of that gap that can be attributed to between performance and potential? You can type or unmute and speak. Attitude, thank you for sharing that. And I'll also request you to keep your cameras on if possible. So attitude is good. What else could be the reason for the gap between our potential and our performance, or someone else's potential and performance, or generally for human beings? Knowledge. Thank you, Hassan. Let's see. No right or wrong answer, so don't feel shy of sharing. As long as you're sharing, it helps. Desired capability. Thank you for sharing that. There are all of these are right. Capability, knowledge, attitude impact our ability to perform. What, for the purpose of our session today, we are going to focus on negative thoughts, which cause the gap between what our potential is and what our performance actually is. So a lot of us have many negative thoughts about ourselves and for other people, which drag our performance down. And many a times we don't acknowledge those negative thoughts, trying to, well, we are not even aware, because they may be conscious or unconscious, mostly unconscious. And even if we know them consciously, we really don't know how to deal with some of those negative thoughts, and the way we deal with it can at times be disastrous. And that is why we thought of hosting this session with Anamika, who is a certified Louis Hay teacher, and invite her for this sharing her thoughts on this very important topic. And this is a couple of days late from Guru Purnima, which was on 21st of August. But essentially, this is to honor our teacher. I'm a student of Louis Hay. I first underwent a weekend workshop on Louis Hay philosophy in November 2014, nearly 10 years back. And it has completely transformed my life. Soon after I did it, my wife also attended it, and she has benefited tremendously. And many people, millions of people around the world have followed Louis Hay philosophy and benefit from it. And today, we have the privilege of having Anamika with us, who is going to share her thoughts on the Louis Hay philosophy and dealing with negative thoughts. Anamika is an alumnus of IIM Bangalore, and in her previous life, she worked with companies like TCS, KPMG, and Deloitte for over 25 years. For last couple of years, she's been working as a holistic well-being coach, helping people transform their lives. She's also a student of Advait Vedanta and passionate about Kabir and his duas. So, Anamika, really very happy to have you with us. And thank you for taking our time. I know how busy you are. Before I hand over to you, just a quick note on mindful living. Uh, some of you, is there anyone who's attending a mindful living session for the first time? If you're attending a mindful living session for the first time, please type FT in the chat box. Okay, so I guess all of you, okay, Aditi, thank you. So then I'll take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish Kumar. Just give me a minute. What is this come up? My name is Ashish Kumar, and I am the founder of Mindful Living. We started this community in April 2020 when the first lockdown happened, and few of my friends reached out to me requesting me to conduct sessions on mindfulness to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the lockdown was causing. So over a weekend, I conducted a session for them, and the response was quite positive. One thing led to the other, and over a period of 4 years, people kept getting added, and we have continued with our practice of holding these weekly sessions over the weekend on various themes which are about application of mindfulness to our daily lives. So if you would like to be a part of this wonderful community that we have, this community has grown to over 1,000 people. So if you would like to be a part of this community, we are sharing the link in the chat. Please click on that and join the WhatsApp group. We are also sharing the link of our YouTube channel, where there are over 200 videos of the sessions we have conducted in the past. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and benefit from the sessions we have done from world-class speakers in the past. So on that note, I'll invite Anamika to take this session forward. But before that, once again, requesting you to keep your cameras on and be actively engaged in the session. There is a reactions button which you can use to show your love, or if there is something which Anamika shares which resonates with you. Anamika, would you like to take question answers towards the end, or as we go along?
Yeah, better to do till the end,
Yeah,
at the
okay,
end. Yeah.
we will take the question answers towards the end, but if you have any questions in the meanwhile, please share them in the chat and I'll keep a track of it, and we will open it up for Q&A around 11:50 or so. So please keep your cameras on and keep your phones off, because what this stuff is really very powerful, and multitasking is not a good way to pick up important stuff like this. This will require all your attention. So on that note, over to you, Anamika, and thank you once again for taking up.
Thank you, Ashish. So, in spite of your repeated requests, we haven't got anybody on camera. If you can, please, we are not judging you for the way you're looking, because, yeah, thank you. It's so nice to see faces and then talk rather than just Of course, I've kept Ashish's face also there. So that is there. Thank you, Raho. Thank you, Maniselvi. Today we are going to be talking about negative thinking. And we are always talking about how we should not think negatively, how we should keep negative thoughts away. But today we are going to talk about how we acknowledge them, how we accept them in our lives, how we understand why we think negatively. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Um, okay, there's a little presence practice which I'm just going to skip at the moment, but let's all of us take some time to take 3 deep breaths, uh, calm our mind, calm our bodies, and be in the present moment. You know, there might be other things that are vying for our attention, but let's just take 3 deep breaths to be in the present moment. Okay, can open your eyes. So I've already been introduced. I'm going to do that. These are my coordinates. So I run a community called Joy Hamesha, which is very closely aligned to the mindful community philosophy. And one thing that I'm doing currently, thanks to Ashish, 3 4 weeks back, Ashish had a session on the magic, the practices from Rhonda Byrne's book, The Magic. And we are doing that, Ashish, on WhatsApp group. Okay. And people are beginning to see the magic. There are so many people who are sharing their beautiful stories. So thank you for putting that into my head so that I could start off. Great. So let's start this. How many of you identify with these statements? And you can put the numbers in the chat box. 1, I am anxious all the time. 2, I'm frightened of people. Some people get scared. 3, I'm very lonely and it's intense. 4, I have difficulty expressing myself. 5, I cannot control my temper. 6, I cannot focus on anything. 7, everyone is against me. 8, I cannot assert myself. 9, I'm a total failure. 10, I want to hide under the covers. Can you share in the chat box which of these apply to you? Okay. Others? Great. If there are multiple ones, you can write multiple numbers as well. Any more to add? Difficulty expressing myself seems to be a popular one. I'm anxious, anxiety. Okay. 10, 8. Assertiveness. Okay, great. I think most of you have answered. So if you've answered one or more of these, basically welcome to the world of negative thinking, right? Uh, we apparently think about 50 to 60,000 in the reports and studies vary. 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day, okay? Out of which 80% are negative and 95% are repetitive. And the more negative an experience, the more we return to that thought. So let's see how and what we do about it. So there are these 3 characteristics of our thoughts. One is the permanence, right? Uh, Something happens, let's say our children are fighting and we say they are forever fighting. Or we have a problem and we say this problem is there forever. So it's like as if it's till the end of life, we will have this problem or we will have this issue. Pervasiveness is where it goes across different areas of our life, right? So maybe we have failed in mathematics and we say we are a failure. Not failure in mathematics, I'm a failure only. So it pervades to other parts of our lives. Or we say we cannot focus on some particular thing and we say I cannot focus on anything at all. So it pervades across all different areas of our lives. Personalization, where we are plagued by guilt, by regret, by doubt, and it is all my fault. That is personalization, right? Everyone is against me. It's me only. I'm always doing this. I can never get anything right. I'm always a failure. So these are the different thoughts, that negative thoughts that we are plagued with. So today we're going to understand, first of all, a little bit of the psychology of negative thinking. There's something called thought cycle, and we'll understand how that plays out in our lives, and then address some ways to address the negative thinking. So once we are in that loop, what can we do? And finally, something to prevent ourselves to get into that loop. So this is broadly what we will do in this a little less than an hour's time, and we can always continue this conversation beyond this session as well. So what is a thought? Anybody wants to share what is a thought? Quickly. You can also unmute yourself and speak. Put your hand up and I can request you to. What is a thought? No answers?
So thought
Yeah.
for me is basically something which comes based on my past experiences,
Okay.
which comes automatically to my mind.
Okay.
And if I deliberate on that, then that becomes my thinking.
Okay. Great. That becomes your thinking. Yeah, Hassan Ali?
Yeah, so it's just what was she said is correct. I mean, whatever we have stored in our subconscious mind, which is from the childhood till now, so it
Yes.
is already in the storage and it's coming, whenever we are setting free or doing something, it will
Correct.
pop up.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? So, if you want to define it technically, a thought is an internal stream of dialogue that we have with ourselves. Okay, what you have said is correct. It comes from our different experiences, etc., and we'll see how that plays out. So it's an internal stream of dialogue that's going on and on and on and on in our heads. Yeah. I'm reading this book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And he says, we are looking at something. So let's say we are looking at a tree and there are, leaves in it and there are birds in it. There are some fruits or flowers. But our mind will be constantly describing that for some reason, right? In spite of the fact that it's there and we can see it, we will say, oh, it has so many fruits and so many birds, but this bird is not there. There's a colorful bird, or there's a crow, lots of things. So it's this constant conversation that we keep on having with ourselves is what is a thought. And rarely do we have just a thought, right? As I said, it goes, as we said, there are sub thoughts based on our experiences, based on our memories, based on our value system, our attitudes, our point of view. It goes on and on, that it becomes, I like to say that it becomes all the drops of our thoughts become a puddle. And sometimes they also become a bigger, water body like a ocean, and we cannot stay afloat. We sort of get sucked into that uh, water body of thoughts, or that the so many thoughts. That's what we call as overthinking. And each of these thoughts, right, as Ashish mentioned, today we are actually using a little bit of philosophy of Louise Hay, uh, giving her Shraddhanjali. I'm also a Live Your Life teacher, certified Live Your Life teacher. And she says that every thought is like a, sorry, yeah, I don't know why. every thought is like a seed that we plant in the fertile soil of our mind. So as we are planting those seeds therefore have the capacity to germinate. Yeah, we water them, give them sunlight in terms of doing it again and again and again, and these then sprout and become trees with flowers, with fruits. So this is just a little bit of theory before I go into the actual this. So the psychology of negative thinking, yeah. We remember all our bad experiences very vividly. We remember who criticized us, when. We seldom remember who appreciated us and when. We think of all the things that could go wrong without focusing on what could go right. We are brooding about what we don't have, for example, rather than being grateful for all the good that we have in our lives. And this in psychology is called a negative bias. Okay? We all have a negative bias. And that's why our news items are mostly negative, for example, right? Then it will be in broad daylight, some robbery has happened or some accident has happened, and it will all be splashed on the front pages. Good news will be somewhere tucked inside the other pages. Very few, but tucked in. Nowadays, we do have things like Speaking Tree and all, but if you see, it's always on a intern page. It's not on the first page. So this negative bias, why do we have it? Any idea? Why do we think of all the things that could go wrong rather than focus on what could go right? Any idea?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think maybe
Srividya?
is it the pattern of thinking which is there like that? Maybe it's like
There's a pattern of thinking, you're saying?
I'm forced to think that, something might go wrong. It's always like that.
Yeah, but why? Any idea why?
It's I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Okay. Mani Selvi, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I think it's humans' basic survival instinct, I guess, which
Yes.
which says that you have to be careful, and
Yes,
it's
you're
more
right.
kind of a survival instinct. However, it has gone a bit maybe berserk in
Yes.
modern times, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
So when we were hunter-gatherers, it was very essential for us to be thinking of what could go wrong, which animal could come, what danger is lurking where. Also, what did that say? Natural disasters, floods, earthquakes, where we didn't have much understanding about those phenomena that time. So it was very essential for us to be wary of the situation. It protected us. It was for our safety. And as Manisal really said, today those situations don't exist, right? We are in our houses, protected. Nobody is going to come and attack us, under normal circumstances. And yet we worry, yet we have these negative thoughts. Here I'm now going to introduce to you what is called as a thought cycle. Thoughts, we all know, just come, right? We don't say, oh, thought come, this is a thought. It just comes. And when the thought comes, that generates a feeling within us. Yeah, and we'll see a little bit more with examples. Based on that feeling, then we act. Our behavior is based on that feeling. And now this behavior then further consolidates the thought that we had in the first place. So our thoughts affect our feelings and our behavior. Our feelings affect our behavior and our thoughts, and our actions, our behavior is affecting our thoughts and our feeling. It's like a cyclic thing going on and on and on and on. Let's take an example, okay? Let's say I have these thoughts. I have a thought that I'm a failure, life is difficult, I hate my job, nobody understands me. If this is what these are my thoughts, how do you think I'm going to be feeling? Share in the chat box. What do you think would be my feeling? I would be feeling low, yes.
low.
Yes, Rahul, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, yeah, same thing. Just I feel low.
I will feel low. Absolutely. I will, obviously, because I'm a failure. Life is difficult. I hate my job. My God, nothing is going right in my life. So uh, I will not take any initiative. Absolutely. Because nobody understands me. I'm a failure. So why should I even take any initiative? Absolutely. Anything else? Yeah. So all these feelings will be plaguing us. We will not taking any initiative. We feel worthless, anxious, angry, sad, depends on the situation and the person. We feel helpless, discouraged, not. What is there? There's nothing to live. So there is demotivation. And therefore, how do we act? What would be the behavior in such a, yeah, absolutely. The no initiative is more a behavior rather than a feeling. So one of them is that. What else is a behavior? How will you act out?
So I become more protective.
I become more protective.
Yeah.
Protective of what?
Of so that thing will not take place, or that bad thing will not happen, or something like that.
Okay, okay. So I will take precautions.
Precaution.
Yeah, okay. But I've already gone into that loop. So okay, that may be one thing to help you prevent from going worse. Anything else? If I'm feeling helpless, angry, sad, anxious, discouraged, how will I act? How will I behave? I will be close to feedback, obviously. I will just not, be open to any feedback, anything that people may say. So different behaviors will come. I will sulk, I will complain because life is difficult. I will get irritated because I'm a failure. Nobody understands me. I will withdraw. Some people may withdraw, right? That nothing is happening in my life. So let me not even do anything about it. And we take everything personally. It's all about me. It's not the other person. It's all about me. Yeah. We're going to talk about this a little later, the personality part, and I'm going to tell you about a book that I have somewhere, but I will mention about that book for you to uh, probably read that book. It's a very nice book. So negative thoughts and this behavior, low confidence, sulking, complaining, irritability, will further reinforce your thoughts that you're a failure, life is difficult, the job is horrible, nobody understands you. Yeah. So they keep on replaying and are potentially dangerous and harmful. When we think something over and over and over again, we start believing those thoughts. We start believing those thoughts. And when we get stuck in that loop, it can go down the spiral very quickly. We can just go down. And then we lose the ability to deal with the situation in a calm and collected way. We are agitated, helpless, doubtful, etc. Now let's take, because we, as we said, these thoughts are being planted in the fertile soil of your mind. So they as you keep on watering them with the same feeling, same behavior, then they get better and better. They actually plant, they fructify. Now let's look at the other way of doing it. Let's say I think I'm an achiever. I'm not a failure now. Now I'm an achiever. Life is not difficult. It is a beautiful journey. And setbacks are just part of life. Ups, downs, ups, downs. And now that I don't like my job much, I know what type of job I don't want. I'm not saying I hate my job. That's a thought that I've changed to knowing what type of job I don't. And then I say I'm learning to be more optimistic. If these are my thoughts, how will I be feeling?
Happy.
I will be happy. Yes, I will be optimistic. I will feel there's more to life. There's hope in life. I will feel hopeful. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Any feelings? Any thoughts on the feelings that these thoughts will? So you feel confident, you feel joyful, you feel optimistic, and you're calm. No problem. Life is beautiful. It's just a temporary phase now that I'm going through where there's something that's not working for me. And therefore, how will you act? What will be your behavior? If you're confident, you're feeling worthy, you're feeling joyful, optimistic, calm,
Energetic.
absolutely energetic. So you be energized, you're open to possibilities, you're curious what else is possible in life. Yeah. And you can focus on your self growth. You can become a better person because you're an achiever and all options, all possibilities are there with you. Yeah. So this is something that I want all of you to take home today, if not anything else. That no person, no place, no thing has any power over us. We are the only thinkers in our mind. So when we create peace and harmony and balance in our minds, we will find it in our lives. We just saw our thoughts create our feelings then create our behavior, which is what everybody sees and what we are also seeing. When we pause to think, why are we behaving in the way we are, we can actually see what feelings prompted them and the feelings, which thoughts they came from. Yeah. So when we create peace, harmony, and balance in our lives, we will find it in our lives. It will be there. Yeah. Any questions on the thought loop? Because that is what is the crux of today's presentation. Once you understand that, then you're fine.
I have a question. I'm Naresh Malan.
Yeah.
Is that okay if I ask? Because I've not raised my hand.
Yeah, go ahead. That's why I asked you if there is a question on the thought loop.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See, I quite agree with what you're saying. It is absolutely true. It's a factual part of the life. My question is, what is the trigger point behind all that is certain amount of, what should I say, uneasiness is where it originates. The thought originates from some kind of feeling of uneasiness, some imbalance, some starting point, some trigger point is there.
Yes.
That trigger point is what leads to this cycle.
Yes. You're right.
Now, and it is, I mean, one has to really, I feel, one has to really identify what is that trigger point. What is the sense of imbalance? What is the sense of that thing which has caused this thought process is where I feel is the origin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. You have to figure out. Yeah. So no. Yeah. So yeah, it is what is the trigger? And as we saw earlier, the trigger could be some memory, some experience has happened, somebody said something happened to you, right? Or you have some beliefs about life, right? If you believe life is unfair, for example, then anytime there is some injustice happening in the world, you're going to feel sad about it. You're going to feel that, life is unfair. Life is a horrible thing. I don't know why we are even living. So it all starts with all that. Yeah. So yeah, triggers are, you have to identify the trigger. And any idea how we can identify the trigger? It's not part of my presentation today, but since we are talking about triggers, and that is the importance, because that is the genesis of the thought, as Mr. Naresh rightly mentioned. How can we identify a trigger? The trigger.
Can I give an example?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. See, for example, if one has just gone to, I'm taking not a good example, but a negative example.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
If one has gone to attend a funeral of a youth, okay, and one is attending there, and if there are some, past incidents, memories of your own, past,
yes,
that becomes the trigger point, and then the loop starts. I mean, I'm giving a very negative but simple example.
No,
which,
somebody
somebody can relate
Yeah.
to.
But you have already identified the trigger. I'm wondering how we can identify the trigger.
You have to go back, what you have done, where is the, it's really your own thinking
Yes.
and what you have done in the last 24 hours, few hours, or
Correct.
whatever.
Yeah, 24 hours or maybe earlier or
Or
earlier in life, because we don't
Yeah.
know where it's coming from. So
I
very
know.
important for us to do that is spend time in silence. We are all so much in the hustle bustle. We are getting the thought, we are getting the feeling, and we are acting. But the only way we can identify a trigger, some of them are obvious, like Mr. Naresh said, the obvious triggers whenever we go to a funeral or to a cremation, we always start questioning about life and the importance of life, meaning of life. In the Vedant philosophy, it's called Smashan Vairagya. But once we come back, then we are back to our normal, routine. So it's very important that we spend some time in silence. Ashish has talked about him going to Vipassana. He goes very regularly there to spend time in silence, to be able, because then only can you hear the inner voice. Otherwise, the inner voice is suppressed. It cannot talk to you. Uh, so you have to be in silence to be able to hear that voice, to be able to find out where the trigger has come from. Yeah, the slight detour, but yeah. So remember that it's all in our minds. Yeah. So our inner thoughts create our outer reality. If we don't have love and care inside, we will seek approval from the others around us. If we don't feel safe, then we will look for security outside. If we don't have a sense of self-worth, then we will look for achievements to be able to prove ourselves. If there's no peace within, we will create turmoil without. And if we lack power, if we feel weak inside, then we will seek to control outside. Yeah. So it's that thing that we have to always remember, that our inner thoughts are creating our outer reality. Yeah. So, yeah, somebody saying something? Okay. So, you change your thinking and you change your reality. Okay. It might mean going to your triggers. It might mean going to, maybe you have some limiting beliefs about something. Your point of view about life is different. And it may go to that level to be able to change that. So, like, life is difficult. If that is your philosophy of life, that the thought loop that you will get into is what I showed you. But if you say that no, life is beautiful and ups and downs of life are a part of existence and part of life, then you will get into a different loop altogether. So it's just a question of changing your thinking. Yeah. Louise says that you change your thinking, change your reality. And she says it's just a thought. That's all it is. And thoughts can be changed. It's a very famous quote of hers. It's just a thought and thoughts can be changed. Yeah. So let's look at these three parameters we talked about earlier: permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization. We know this, right? Nothing is permanent. Everything is changing every moment. Our bodies are changing every moment. Some cells are getting destroyed, some cells are getting created, our body is aging. Different things are happening in our bodies. So even within the body, there are changes. Here now I'm in Mumbai, it's raining. After some time, it will stop raining. Hopefully the sun will come out. In some other parts of India, there is no rain. It's warm, in fact. So every change is a part of our lives, right? Somewhere it's said change is the only constant. So nothing is permanent. Remember that. This will also pass. So focus on one step. Sometimes we say, oh my God, I'm thinking this and this is my behavior. And it seems I'm overthinking. I'm thinking about what will happen. The markets will crash, etc. That seems something so far away. There seems to be some 100 steps to go there. Go one step at a time. Just take the next step. See how it feels. You're fine, stable footing, go to the next step. Yeah, just one step. There's a beautiful book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he talks about something called 1% improvement every day, right? A lot of people say that the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest, right? When things go compounding. So here he says that if we do 1% improvement every day, that means if I'm at 1 today, tomorrow I become 1.01, right? 1% is 0.1 in decimal points. So I become 1.01 tomorrow. Like that, if I keep on improving myself, after 365 days, that means 1.01 raised to 365. Any idea what that number is? Without Googling? Just guess. What is 1.01 raised to 365? 1 raised to 365, we all know, right? What is it? 1 raised to 365 is 1. So 1.01 raised to 365. Guess. Come on. I need some guesses. Not Kaun Banega Kadorpati. We will not give any prizes, but let's get. Ani Selvi, you are on camera and Rahul. So I have to ask you.
I'm not, I don't know really.
One, just give one number. Is it 5? Is it
365.
365? No. Utna bhi nahi hai. The number is 37.78. Yeah, it's 37.78. That means you will improve 37, practically 38 times if you just do that 1% improvement every day. And just to give you a perspective, if you go back by 1%, that means from 1 you go to 0.09. 0.09 raised to 365. I won't ask you to guess. It's 0.03. So you become worse than what you were today. Yeah. But go that, do one step at a time and you will get to wherever you have to. Let go of any internal resistance. We are always fighting. Oh, it's raining and I have to go out and, to take an umbrella. I have to, it's going to be mucky. There's going to be floods. There's going to be traffic jam. It's raining. I have to take an umbrella and go if I have to. I have to be ready to face a traffic jam if I have to go through certain parts which I know there will be traffic jam. Yeah? So the more we resist with reality, the more we suffer, the more we go through pain. So just let go of internal resistance. Ask for help if required. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, talk to professionals if required. Okay, if you have some chronic issue with your mental state, then go to a professional and gracefully receive that love and support. Yeah, we are all very good. We all are givers, big givers, and we take pride in the fact that we give. But a lot of us hesitate or don't graciously accept or receive whatever that is coming to us. So whatever comes, gracefully receive it, gracefully accept it. Second thing is nothing is pervasive, right? You know that. So we learn to compartmentalize. We embrace and enjoy the small pleasures of life. That's how our life is a sum of all the daily pleasures, daily pleasures and happiness that we get in life. And be grateful for all that you have. Yeah? As I said, we are doing this practice of gratitude. All of you can do. It's a book called The Secret by Rhonda Bryan. And every day, a different aspect of gratitude she talks about. And if you practice that, right, everything is a practice. You'll all feel very good after listening to this. Okay, I understand what is negative thinking and why it happens. But what will I practice is what is important, and we will share some with you. One of them is the affirmations. Louisa is very, very famous for her affirmations. And for those who entered the call earlier than 11 a.m., you would have been hearing her talking about different affirmations. So everybody, even those who are not on camera, just put your hand out. A handout is to basically be in it's not being Shah Rukh Khan. It's basically being in a position to receive, to accept. And repeat after me. Every experience in my life
Every experience in my life
is working for my higher good.
is working for my higher.
Every experience in my life
Every experience in my life
is working for my higher good.
is working for my higher good.
All affirmations are written in the present tense, not in the future. It's not, it will work for my higher good. It is working for my higher good. Difficult sometimes to accept that, especially when we are going through a negative experience. But once that emotional charge of that negative experience goes off, you can actually see the lesson in that experience. Yeah. Don't take things personally. So the book I was talking about is a book called The Four Agreements. Yeah. Don Miguel Ruiz, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name of the author. He talks about only four things you have to do with yourself. You make 4 agreements with yourself. Second agreement is don't take things personally. And he says the moment you take things personally is when you have taken the poison from the other person and put it in your system. Yeah. So instead of saying, why did it happen? Why did the milk spill? Ask what now? Now that the milk has spilled, let me wipe it off so that it doesn't dry and become cakey, and then it's more difficult for me to clean. So take responsibility of your life. We are always blaming this one. You came and, I mean, even I do that at times. You came and disturbed my peace. I was quietly sitting and doing my thing, and now you came and said something, and now I'm disturbed. So, no, the person who came did something. I decided to get disturbed. I could have decided not to get disturbed. So take responsibility of your life. And now we take another affirmation. Again, put your hands out and say, I am doing the best I can.
I'm doing the best I can
With the knowledge, skills, and awareness.
With the knowledge, skills, and awareness
I currently have. I'm doing the best I can.
I'm doing the best I can.
With the knowledge, skills, and awareness I currently have.
With the knowledge, skills, and awareness I currently have.
Yeah. Tomorrow I may have more knowledge, more skills, and more awareness, and I may do differently from what I do in today's situation. Yeah. So when today my daughter is 20 years old. When she was a young girl, I scolded her a lot and probably even hit her. Today I will not do that. At that time I did not have the awareness of what I was doing to her. Okay. Today I actually apologized to her, by the way, once I got this awareness that what I did with her was a wrong thing. And I said sorry to her. I asked her forgiveness. And there's no way that I can do that to any child going forward or even endorse that behavior because of the knowledge, that awareness I have now. This is how we prevent negative thinking, okay, to take care of ourselves. There are very different practices. I've just given you 5 practices here. One is be grateful. So write a gratitude journal every day. So every day, write 10 things to be grateful for. Yeah, I used to write 3. After I started the practice by Rhonda Bryan, I write 10 things. And believe you me, every day you will find 10 things to be grateful for. There are so many things. Things in your house, the relationships you have, the books you read, the movies you see, the songs you hear, nature, so many things to be grateful for. Live in the present moment. Most of us are living in the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future. and we forget to even enjoy what's happening in at the moment. There is this movie called Kung Fu Panda. Those who have not seen it, you must see it. There's a wonderful line in that movie. That movie is full of one-liners. One of the most beautiful lines in that movie is, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. The only thing you have is today, and that's why it's called present. It's a gift to you. So be in the present, and that's what mindful living is all about, right? Don't compare. You have your resources, your uniqueness, your traits. Be with them. Try to, if you want to compare yourself today with what you were yesterday. Right? What is the change you have made in yourself rather than what others have, because you may not have those things. Don't complain, because that's not going to achieve anything. Yeah, it's only going to create more negativity. One of the triggers is complaining, yeah, of a negative thing. And have fun in life. This is the only life you have. So just have fun, sing, dance, do whatever it is that you want to do. Have fun in life. If you can do this, your negative thinking will decrease dramatically. Okay, I put this because very coincidentally, this quote came into my WhatsApp, one of WhatsApp messages. So many of us have read Alice in Wonderland, right? If you haven't, please read. If you have already read, please reread. Yeah. So I'm going to read this for you. Do you love me? Alice asked. No, I don't love you, replied the white rabbit. Alice frowned and clasped her hands together as she did whenever she felt hurt. See, replied the white rabbit. Now you're going to start asking yourself, what makes you so imperfect and what did you do wrong so that I don't love you at least a little? You know, that's why I can't love you. You will not always be loved, Alice. There will be days when others will be tired and bored with life. They will have their heads in the clouds and will hurt you. Because people are like that. They somehow always end up hurting each other's feelings, whether through carelessness, misunderstanding, or conflicts with themselves. If you don't love yourself, at least a little, if you don't create an armor of self-love and happiness around your heart, the feeble annoyances caused by others will become lethal and will destroy you. The first time I saw you, I made a pact with myself. I will avoid loving you until you learn to love yourself. Yeah, powerful words. I'll post it in the group for you to read and reflect on it. And as I said, please do read or reread Alice in Wonderland. It's full of different. When I at least when I read as a child, I just read it. You know, it was a fantasy novel and all that. Today, I see the wisdom in the words that are used. So we talked about the different beliefs right in the beginning, right? All of you had marked numbers 4, 5, 6. I hope you remember your numbers. So if you believe in these things, Louise Hay says these are your affirmations. So depending on what numbers you wrote, I'm going to give you a minute to write down your affirmations from the right-hand side. Or you can take a screenshot. Yeah, Rahul, are you saying something?
No, sorry. No, nothing.
Those who have said that I have difficulty expressing myself, every day tell yourself it is safe to express my feelings. Some people said I cannot assert myself. So you say, I love who I am and assert my power wisely. Yeah, take a screenshot if you don't want to write. Done? And finally, this is the affirmation that we will all say. Again, put your hands out, arms out. Everything in my life is unfolding perfectly in the right time, space, and sequence.
In the right time, space, and sequence.
I release all worry, all doubt, and all fears.
I release all my worries, all my doubts and all my fear.
I enjoy the present moment.
I enjoy the present moment
In the infinity of life where I am,
in the infinity of life where I am.
all is perfect, whole, and complete.
All is perfect, whole, and complete.
All is perfect. So this moment is perfect, whole, and complete.
This moment is all is perfect, whole, and complete.
That's what I wanted to share with all of you today. Stop sharing my screen, and now you can ask questions based on what you heard.
Yeah. And thank you, Anamika, so much. And while Anamika has opened up the floor for questions, I would also urge you to share your one takeaway from the session. I think it's a very powerful session, and
Sure.
each one of us said would have had a powerful takeaway. So you can either use the reactions button, raise your hand to share, or to ask questions. I understand that we are at 11:56 with about 4 minutes to go, but I'm happy to extend, Anamika, if it is okay with you, by another 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, Rahul, go on.
Madam, a few months ago, when I was feeling feeling very high, like I used to go for a cycling, I used to go for a running. I'm a half marathon runner. Of a few months, but now I don't feel like going for a run, going for a cycling. I feel that sleeping at home. As you rightly said, so I have to find out where the trigger started.
Where do you live, Rahul?
I stay at Vadala, Bhakti Park.
So it's raining now. It's the atmosphere itself is such a beautiful atmosphere to stay at home and be warm, and maybe have some bhajiyas and chai. Who wants to go cycling in the rain? My God, yeah. So I don't think I think it's just the atmosphere, and you just wait for August to come, August, September to come.
Okay, is it so,
Yeah.
or is it some reason that I am giving, or some false reason that I am giving to my mind, saying that no, you should go, because I used to go during even.
So Rahul, that is a question only you can answer.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
it's a question only you can answer. So find out if it is something more than that. For example, I go regularly to the gym and swim. Okay, 3 days a week I do gymming, 3 days a week I swim. But this whole month of July, I have refrained from going because I don't want to get out in this rain. And though my friends who are going, they are going. Okay, but yeah, so it's me. But August 1st, and I will restart my practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think
Anybody else?
two takeaways, this Naresh Malan.
Yeah,
Yes,
Naresh. Yes,
Two
Mr. Ujjwal, I'll come to you.
takeaways I personally have is the cycle of thoughts, feelings, and behavior. My general impression is the thought which is leading to the behavior, but I think it goes via the feeling. That is one very, very important part, which is a big takeaway. Second is observation, which you have already covered, just now. In my own experience and with the experience of some of my friends, anything which is physically keeps you active, be it any physical exercise, swimming or whatever, or share the company of people, what brings in a break in that sequence of thoughts and feelings and behavior, maybe temporarily, but that is the starting point to get out of that doom cycle, doom loop or whatever. So it's a sheer physical activity, which makes a difference. That's my own experience, personal experience in any situation like this.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, Mr. Dasgupta wanted to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
See, these 5-6 points that you made out about the gratitude journal life in the present moment, of course, is, there's just no doubt about it. What you said, that past is history, future is a mystery.
Yeah.
So many people have said it in so many different ways.
Correct.
Don't complain, don't compare, have fun in life. Agreed 100% with all your things.
Yes.
Now, if there's an external situation which is manifesting in your life to such an extent that it is taken over your life,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it. You are dependent on some external stimuli. I won't say stimuli, some external action,
Yes.
which is going to have major repercussions on your life.
Yes.
You can do nothing to control it.
Absolutely.
All I can do is don't complain and don't compare that why is it happening to me of all the people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if one has to live with this thing, and it's a very major thing, it can take over my life and ruin it completely,
Yeah.
Which it already has to a large extent. How do we get out of that loop?
Yeah, Mr. Dasgupta, you decide whether it has ruined your life or not, right? We all went through COVID, for example.
Yeah.
Some people were devastated by it and, can't go out, can't do this, can't do that. Some people just accepted and went through life as it's life and we have to go through it. So let me take this opportunity to share with you that I have gone through cancer in 2016. And I proudly say that